Hi guys, Matthew Lippard here again. I've been starting to build those charcuterie boards and I'm working on a cutting board right now. I don't have a thickness planer and for the full-size cutting boards, those thickness planers aren't really going to do the job anyway because a lot of times they're just not wide enough. So I'm going to build myself a router sled so that I can flatten those slabs and so I can have those cutting boards and those charcuterie boards nice and flat on the top and everything looks cool. So this is a fairly easy project. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, will you? It helps with these YouTube algorithms. Click the like button here and click that bell icon. You get notified every time I post a new video. If you have any comments, questions, whatever, anything that I might have left out that you have a question on, leave it in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer it for you. I'm doing this. Well, I like to do it. I like woodworking. I like doing this kind of stuff. But I do these videos because I want to help people. If I can help you make your project a little bit easier, that does my heart good. So let's go ahead and get into this. I bought myself 2 pieces of angle iron. It's 1.25 inches by 1.25 inches, 4 foot long. And that's what I'm going to use for my base. I've got my router here. And that might have to come off of there, but I just got this router. It's a cheap router. It's a Harbor Freight router. But I have a Harbor Freight trim router. And I tell you, I've abused the heck out of that thing. And man, it just doesn't quit. And since I'm just getting started into this kind of stuff, and I didn't want to buy nothing too outrageous, I'll have to take this thing off or figure out some other way, something else to do with it. But it's going to be rotting away. But for now, anyway, what I'm doing is I'm setting it in here with a little bit of play. Okay, not much, but I need to get the width here. Okay, between these 2 angle lines. All right, the width is 5 7/8 inches is going to be just about perfect. Now I'm going to go to my table saw and I'm going to cut some 1-bys at 5 7/8 inches. And I'll go ahead and reset up the camera out there. I actually got my table saw outside right now. I'll reset up there and we'll come back then. Okay, I've got my sled here on my table saw. I've got it marked. I got my stop block here set at 5 7/8 inches. Get my blade up here. Run through this real quick. I'm going to cut 2 of these, 1 for each end. Now also, I'm going to do these rails for the side of it. And I'm just going to do those at 3 inches right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut these down to 3 inches. So I'll go ahead and reset my stop block. And we'll reset this and then we'll cut these while I'm at it. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and cut these 2, rip them down to 3 inches wide. All right, now we'll head back inside the shop and we'll work on getting these things installed onto that angle. Okay, I got my pieces cut. I've got it held together with some clamps right here on each side, and everything's square. I ended up taking that dust collection off. It was too tight. It's going to slide nicely without it in there. So I have taken that off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my drill bit. I'm going to put 1/4 inch bolts in here. So I'm going to drill holes slightly bigger than a 1/4 inch, just like one size bigger, just so those 1/4 inch bolts will go through there nice and easy. And then I'm going to bolt this piece of wood, both ends. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill with a small bit, 4 holes, and then I'll come back with the bigger bit and make the holes bigger. All right, now let me get a measurement here. It's 1 inch inch. I should be able to do this with an inch and a half.
Having some issues with my microphone when I did this recording. I'm not sure what it was, but there were certain parts of this that the recording came out well and some parts it didn't. I apologize for that. But what I'm doing here is I'm putting the nuts and bolts in. I don't know how well you can see it, but I'm using grade 8 bolts. I'm using an inch and a half, a quarter by inch and a half grade 8 bolt with a flat washer and a lock washer. You don't have to use grade 8. I have my Kimball Midwest set up. I just happen to have grade 8s here, so that's what I used.
Get this clamp out. Once I get these on, I'll go ahead and drill out the other side, put the bolts on the other side, get it tightened up, and then we'll move on from there. I'll do the other side off camera. You guys got the idea what I'm doing. So I don't need to belabor the point or belabor the point, and you know, people that are watching this are smart. You guys get the picture. So I'll tighten this up here a little bit as well. Get it really nice and snug, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alrighty, like I say, I'll do the other side off camera, tighten these up off camera, and then we'll back in a little bit. Okay, I've got these all on. All 8 bolts are in and tightened. I took the remaining section of that 1x6, and I'm going to put this in on each side, just inside of this piece, right there. I'm going to clamp it to the table. And then I'm going to drill down through the steel and through the wood. It'll be a pilot hole into the wood. And then I'm going to screw these pieces into that. This is going to be my guide blocks for the sled on the table I'm going to be using. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to drill these pilot holes deeper. Now that I can get into it, I'll drill these the width of the depth of the bit, and I'm going to drill these holes slightly bigger so that the screws will go down through it and not have to. I'm not trying to drill through here with the screws. I want the screws to go easily through this hole. Alright, set this back up in here. All right, now I'll go ahead and do the other side off camera, and then I'll be back. So there it is, guys. Roughly in an hour, I built this router sled. I've got a table I'm going to build that this thing will sit on top of. My cutting boards will go underneath of it on a nice flat surface, a 3/4 inch plywood surface, and I'm going to do some things to have that where I can do varying heights and different things like that. And then these will keep everything inside. I'm going to go ahead tomorrow. I'll do this on camera as well, but I'm going to go ahead and clean this up a little bit and put some paste wax on it so that this thing will slide easily through back and forth. And then I'm almost ready to start flattening a slab. This is going to be a cool project. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a lot of fun. But for tonight, it's 9 o'clock on a Friday night. So I'm going to quit for tonight, and I'll be back tomorrow.